Yes, welcome everyone. It's Cannabis News. I'm your host, Joe Klare. It is another week here at the Marijuana Times. The show is brought to you by the Marijuana Times. You can find it at marijuanatimes.org. Click the video tab there to find the show. You can also find us on YouTube, Vimeo, a bunch of different places, Apple Podcasts as well. marijuanatimes.org, there's a lot of great articles there also that you may want to check out about the cannabis community, industry, and beyond. Today, we're talking about Florida in 2020 and the attempted adult use legalization. Also, Judge Jeanine Pirro, one of Trump's favorite Fox News people, may have a little impact on cannabis legalization. And one of those articles, to wrap things up, that we come across every now and then, it's one of those articles where my opinion on it is going to make me come across to some people as kind of an a-hole, and that's fine. That needs to happen every once in a while. People need to hear the truth, blunt honesty, if you will. Yeah, that's right. I'll throw in a pun every now and then. All that is coming up. But first, of course, Cannabis News is brought to you by Natureside, nature-side.com. And their organic, all-natural pesticides grow safe and poison-free with Natureside. Don't use banned pesticides in the state that you're growing in. Be regulatory compliant. All these things are possible through the power of Natureside. Nature-side.com, proud sponsor of Cannabis News. This first story by yours truly at marijuanatimes.org. Battleground Florida 2020. I wish I kind of had like some music for that. When I say that, I could do it in my movie promo guy's voice. Battleground Florida 2020. And the music would crescendo and bum 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 ba. But no, I have none of that. I have no sound effects whatsoever or music except for the intro music. I guess I could have played that, but no, it's okay. You get the idea. It's supposed to be very dramatic. Just pretend that my reading of the title was very dramatic. It'll make the whole thing much better. As you know, there's some groups in Florida trying to legalize adult use marijuana. They're trying to get on the ballot in 2020. John Morgan recently came out, the powerhouse behind medical marijuana in Florida. He recently came out in favor of recreational legalization. I talked with Karen Sieb Goldstein, who's vice chair of Regulate Florida, one of the groups trying to get marijuana legalization on the ballot. She told the Marijuana Times, quote, fundraising can be much better than it is. We have lots of grassroots support with individual donations coming in pretty steadily, but we really need someone with deep pockets to reach into that pocket and make a big donation to Regulate Florida. This would be a great investment for someone who wants to get into the cannabis industry in Florida. She says they're going to need a few $1 million to get it on the ballot and beyond. Some of the estimates I've seen is upwards of $5 million. It's a big state. Florida's a huge state with a lot of population, heavily populated from one end to the other, and it's going to take a lot of money to get a lot of signatures. Over 700,000, like 766,000 valid signatures will be needed. So if you're in Florida, go to regulateflorida.com. In the story, there's links. You can sign and print the petition. You can donate. You can volunteer at Regulate Florida. Regulateflorida.com. Go check it out. If you're in Florida and you want to get involved, you can do so. And, of course, that article is linked in the description of this video, as are all stories that we talk about. This next story is from marijuanamoment.net. Judge Jeanine Pirro, a Trump Fox News favorite, joins Cannabis Company Board. One of President Donald Trump's favorite Fox News channel personalities is joining the board of a CBD company. Jeanine Pirro, host of Justice with Judge Jeanine, will sit on the board of directors of Heavenly RX, effective immediately, the firm said in a press release. The company is a subsidiary of SOL Global Investments Corporation, which holds stakes in a variety of cannabis-related businesses. My interest in CBD stems from a curiosity after hearing people say how much they benefited from CBD. Pirro, who previously served as a New York District Attorney, told Marijuana Moment in a response to emailed questions, I'm now excited to be part of the opportunity for people to access fantastic wellness options that are both natural and physically and emotionally beneficial. She said, initially a skeptic, I now understand there are tremendous benefits outside the assembly line of traditional medicine and pharmaceutical dictates. The reason this is a big deal, obviously, is that one day, especially if Trump gets reelected, we're going to need Trump to be on board with cannabis legalization and ending federal prohibition. And from a lot of accounts that I've heard about Trump, from people who know him, they say that the same piece of information, basically, if he heard it from someone he doesn't like and he heard it from someone he does like, he won't take it seriously until he's told by someone he does like. Is that a great way to run anything, an organization of any kind? Obviously not. There's better ways to come to conclusions about decisions. But if you're waiting for Trump to become, something that he's not, well, that's silly. We got to work with what we have. And if one of his favorite people is on a CBD board and is lessening or reversing or liberalizing or whatever you want to put it, their opinion on cannabis, even if it's just a certain part of cannabis, that can only help. Maybe Trump will be watching our show and she'll be talking about CBD, and all of a sudden Trump will be the biggest fan of CBD in the world. Who really want to look into it, and maybe some senators will pile on from there and say, well, CBD is great, but so is medical marijuana. And what's better than medical marijuana is just if we let the states just decide on recreational marijuana, and then maybe through this convoluted path we can somehow get to Trump supporting a possible legalization measure, if it would make it through the Senate and somehow get to his desk. Having people that he likes getting into cannabis in any way, shape, or form can only be a good thing. And if he's one of those people that, he really didn't think nothing about CBD until Judge Jeanine Pirro started talking about it on her show, well, so be it. It's just, like I said, we got to work with the system we have. Now, if a Democrat takes over in a couple of years, if Trump loses the election next year, then, it doesn't matter. But if Trump is somehow reelected, and I know the polls, he's getting trounced in the polls. You know who else was trouncing him in the polls? Hillary Clinton. You know who was up 5 points the day that Trump won? Hillary Clinton. You know who had a 98% chance of beating Trump? Hillary Clinton. She's not president. Trump is. So don't give me this crap of like, oh, well, he'll be gone in 2020. Yeah, he might. He might not. We have to plan for both eventualities when it comes to cannabis law reform. We have to face the fact he may be there another 4 years after next year. And that's just the way things are. And if he gets on board cannabis legalization only because Judge Jeanine Pirro likes it, great. I don't care. I really don't. If that's what it takes to get cannabis prohibition repealed on a federal level, cannabis descheduled, whatever, that's great. I'll take it. If he says a magical fairy came into the Oval Office and explained to him the benefits of cannabis, and that's why he signed a legalization measure, great. I am all for it. I'm team magical fairy in the Oval Office. If you know any magical fairies, please send them to the Oval Office to talk to him. I don't care what it takes. I don't care how stupid it is. I don't care how dumb the reason is that he came on board or whatever. It doesn't matter. What matters are the results. So Judge Jeanine, talk up CBD. Make your show all about CBD. Change the name to CBD with Judge Jeanine. I don't care. Whatever works. Now, this last story, the one that I mentioned, my opinion on, kind of make me come across as a little bit of an a-hole to people. It's a CBSNews.com story, The Unintended Consequences of More Potent Pot. That's right, I should add some dramatic music for that as well. The Unintended Consequences of More Potent Pot. That's right. It's very dramatic as well. It's been a very dramatic show. The legalization of recreational marijuana, the article starts, in almost a dozen states shows how America's attitude toward the drug may be changing, but the drug has changed too. Newly developed strains of marijuana are far stronger than what people were smoking in the past, leading to unintended consequences like addiction and marijuana toxicity. Okay, sounds like garbage to me and crap, but we'll continue. Dr. Sam Wang said typically young children around the age of 2 are getting into caregivers, whether it's parents, grandparents, babysitters, marijuana products, often edible products. Excuse me. First of all, he uses the words typically and often, none of which kids getting into pot are. It's not typical. It doesn't happen often. It's a very rare occasion. They say that there's been a 27% increase in children and teenagers in emergency treatment for marijuana toxicity. You know what? That's probably a couple hundred people. In state of millions, they're talking about a couple hundred people. That's why they don't put the numbers. They don't say it went from this number to this number. They say there's been a 27% increase. There's a lot of things that kids shouldn't get into. They shouldn't get in your alcohol. They shouldn't get in your tobacco. They shouldn't get in your cleaning products. None of that stuff. So you're going to blame legalization for the massive increase in kids going to the emergency rooms, none of which have died, by the way. They're all fine because marijuana won't kill you. Toxicity usually means some kind of poisoning. They haven't been poisoned. They're just high, and it'll go away, and they'll be fine. I'm not saying that, your kids should, you don't worry about it. Leave your edibles and leave it out. No, be a parent. Be a parent. You don't want your kid getting into something, make sure they don't get into it. They're kids. It's easy to thwart them. It really is. It's not difficult to outsmart a child and keep them away for something. It's just not. They're not MacGyver. They're not Houdini. They're kids. You put something in a safe and lock it, guess what? They can't get into it. You're not going to go down the street to Little Billy and get some C4 and blow your safe open. It's not that hard to thwart a child in your home from getting what you don't want them to get. Now, continuing. In severe circumstances, it can affect how they're breathing and make them comatose and be put on a ventilator, but they still survive. But again, I'm not advocating for kids being able to get weed. It's a bad thing. Parents, don't let them into it. And they go into how much THC has increased from 3.7% it used to be to 20% now. Some dabs and concentrates are upwards of 100% THC. And they go into this sob story about this kid. 20-year-old Colton said that his addiction to marijuana began when the drug was legalized 5 years ago while he was attending high school in Colorado. He's in high school. 5 years ago, 20-year-old Colton was 15 years old. Let's see what he has to say. Quote, once it was legalized, it was so easy to get in its strongest form straight from the dispensary, Colton said. How is that? How is that, 15-year-old Colton, that you went straight to the dispensary and got the most potent form of weed available? It was so easy. It was so easy. It wasn't. That's not what happened. That's a lie. Why is Colton lying? Why is his father lying? His father, Andrew Brandt, believes the high levels of THC fueled his son's addiction. How was your son getting weed straight from a dispensary at 15 years of age? He wasn't. He got it from someone else, more than likely, and guess what? That's what happened under Prohibition. Young people got it from someone who was a little bit older and had it. So legalization didn't cause that at all. But here's the problem. They want THC regulated by the state. That's their solution to this, is they have THC regulated by the state. No mention why 15-year-old Colton was able to get marijuana straight from a dispensary, because that didn't happen. It did not happen. He didn't go straight to a dispensary. He got it from somebody else illegally. Illegally. You're not allowed to sell marijuana to a 15-year-old anywhere. It does not happen. He didn't go straight to a dispensary and get crap, because he would have went in there. They would say, where's your ID? He would say, I don't have one. I'm 15. They would say, go away. That did not happen. Okay? So Colton's a liar, and his father's a liar. Be that as it may. He says that Colton had so many problems with it, and he wanted to get away from it, and he had to go to rehab, and it was causing all kinds of problems in his life, which, I mean, look, when I hear people who are addicted to marijuana, the first thing I think of is that scene from Half-Baked, where Bob Saget says he used to suck you-know-what for coke. And they make fun of Dave Chappelle for saying he was addicted to weed. Be that as it may, let's say it's all true. Let's say Colton had so many problems with marijuana. It ruined his life. He wanted to go to rehab. He wanted to get off of it. Then do so. Go to rehab, Colton. Become a marijuana addiction specialist. Do whatever you want. But once you start advocating for the state to treat everyone else like a baby and regulate the potency of marijuana products, because Colton, the 15-year-old who lies and says he got it straight from a dispensary, he can't handle his weed, so now it's got to be regulated for everybody. Because Colton's a baby, everybody's got to be treated like a baby. If you got a problem with weed, quit. If you have problems quitting, get help. If you have to go to rehab, go to rehab. I don't care. It's not my business. Just like whatever potency marijuana I buy is not Colton's business or his dumb father. It's not your business what I do. It's not my business what you do. You got a problem with weed? You don't like it? You want to tell people to stay away from it? Fine. Go be a motivational speaker and tell people of all the evils of the devil's lettuce and why they should stay away from it. I don't care. As long as your opinion about it doesn't have the force of law, say what you want. You're not going to treat me or anyone else, another adult, like a child because stupid Colton can't handle his bud. You don't like it? Too bad. Too bad. His father said this. This is the stupid quote from his stupid father, Andrew Brandt. This is nuclear strength. Nuclear strength. He's talking about weed, pot, ganja, Mary Jane, marijuana, cannabis. It's nuclear strength, he said. rocket science PhDs coming in and making this stuff stronger than any strains of weed anyone has ever known. You sound like an idiot. I'm sorry, Andrew Brandt, father of Colton, you are a moron. Nuclear strength, rocket science PhDs coming in and making this stuff stronger. Yeah, it's stronger. It's not nuclear strength because that's stupid. That's stupid. It's like me saying, well, my town is the size of a galaxy. No, it's not. And me saying it makes me sound like an idiot. Words mean things. Rocket science PhDs are coming in just for the purpose of making weed stronger. I wish they were. Yes. If you're a rocket scientist and you have a PhD and you want to come in and make weed even more potent than it is, by all means, have at it. But that's not happening. There's no nuclear strength weed. It's a little stronger than it used to be. And some people can't handle it. Some people like baby Colton can't handle it. Okay, then don't smoke it. Don't eat the edibles. Don't do the dab. Don't do it. Jesus Christ, I'm so sick of everybody having a problem. And because they have a problem, the state has to step in and fix it. Let me give you a little parallel analogy, if you will, from my life. I'm overweight. You can't look at it. You can't see it by looking at me, but maybe you can. I don't know. But I'm overweight. A lot of my life, I was around 6'4", 290. I've lost about 40 pounds in the last 6 or so months, and now I'm about 6'4", 250. You want to know why I'm overweight? Let me tell you why. Because I eat garbage. Not literal garbage, but you know all the stuff that tastes really great, but people say you shouldn't eat. Red meat, steak, pork, bacon, fast food, all the things you shouldn't eat, I eat them. I love them. They taste great. I eat them all the time. Yeah, I know they're bad for me. And if I have a coronary at 45 and I'm cursing my decision making from my past life, that's my problem. You know what you won't hear me say? The state should come in and regulate the fat content in a Big Mac. Steak should be banned. Bacon should be banned and taken off the shelves. Only bacon left should be turkey bacon. That's what the state, the government should come in and do, is solve my problem for me. Fatty Magoo. I don't want to eat. I don't want to eat bacon, so they should take it off the shelves. Instead of me just deciding, oh well, maybe I shouldn't eat bacon. Just don't eat bacon. How about that? It would never occur to me to have the government say, hey, there's no more bacon because Joe, he's fat. Joe's fat, so no more bacon for you. Every other adult in the state? No. You deal with your What happened to dealing with your problems? Why should everyone else have to pay for your mistakes? Notwithstanding the lies in this, the bull, the dumb father with his stupid analogies or stupid comparisons, none of that. If you have a problem with marijuana, you think it's too potent, too bad. Let other adults make their decisions. You make your decisions. The weed's too potent. You can't handle it. Get away from it. Get help. Whatever you need to do. Run. Run from it. It's ruining your life. It's more for the rest of us. Go away. I don't care if people quit smoking weed. That's fine. The more demand goes down, the more prices will come down. Everybody quit. Just stop. You're smoking right now. Put it down. Just quit cold turkey. Forget it. Be done with it. Everybody watching this right now, quit smoking weed. Quit using weed. When the prices come down, it'll be cheaper for me. Thank you in advance. No, THC is not a problem. Dummy Daddy went on to say the state was highly focused on how much tax revenue it could generate from marijuana sales. Nobody really spent a lot of time thinking about, well, how it's going to impact some of the younger community. I'll tell you how it's impacting the younger community in Colorado. Teen use is either steady or going down. A lot of the data out of Colorado shows teen use is going down. So that's how it impacts the younger community. Because 15-year-old Colton didn't go to a dispensary and get potent weed because he couldn't. Unless he had a fake ID. But that's the thing about ID. You have to have one. Fake or real. They're not going to sell you any marijuana. He didn't go straight to a dispensary at 15 and get potent marijuana. It didn't happen. So why the lie? Where's your proof that the potent THC ruined this kid's life? And if you did have proof, where is the proof that it needs to be regulated and everyone else needs to have less potent THC because Colton has a problem? Sorry, Colton, you're nobody. I'm nobody. If I were to say McDonald's needs to be shut down because I'm fat, I'm nobody. You feel free to ignore my opinion. Or agree with my opinion. Do whatever you want. As long as it doesn't have the force of law, it doesn't matter. Anyway. So if I came across as an a-hole to poor dummy daddy and his kid Colton, too bad. You'll get over it. You'll be fine. Thanks, everybody, for checking out Cannabis News. Maybe that last part was a little a-holy, but I don't care. Some people need to hear things, and that's what I do. I say things. That's right. 5 days a week on Cannabis News. Thank you to Natureside, nature-side.com, and their organic, all-natural pesticides. Thank you all for watching, listening, sharing, liking, commenting, all the awesome stuff you do with these videos. Check us out on Apple Podcasts as well. Continue to spread the truth about cannabis through this show. Thanks for watching and listening today. We'll see you next time right here on Cannabis News.